Anton Silayev might be one of the biggest what-if players in the 2024 NHL draft. He stands 6 feet 7 inches tall, and he skates like a player significantly shorter than that. In the data that I've tracked over the course of this season, I've found him to be relatively a safe passing, passive defender who's not super involved in transitions going both directions. And when you look at a player this tall, you might think that there is a lot of physical involvement, and more often than not, you would be correct. He can erase players along the boards very well at the KHL level. He establishes body positioning and chips pucks into space well to diffuse pressure, and I think he shows pretty strong evidence to be a good defender. Historically, though, he hasn't produced a whole lot, and this season, half of his production came in the first 6 games of the season. So I don't really see a tremendous amount of offensive upside in that area, but there are signs of good offensive pinches and scoring chances, so all hope might not be lost there. Through it all, he's a very, very unrefined player who could go a variety of directions before he reaches the NHL. He could lose board battles a player his size should win. He's having trouble blocking and settling and moving pucks quickly, but these things are understandably slow for a player of his size at this age. Monitoring gaps off the puck and monitoring off-puck forwards position-wise has led to scoring chances and goals against, so working on a little bit more quickness and a little bit more fluidity on his feet could certainly make a difference. To me, most worrisome with him has been a very inconsistent ability to connect on stretch passes and defensive zone breakouts. I found him often sending passes into traffic, sending passes directly to opponents, but when there are strong moments, they are very strong. He is huge. He is still a little bit awkward working with his hands and feet together to possess and move the puck effectively. He can take too long to settle pucks, identify a play, and execute that play, and he invites a ton of pressure onto himself that leads to less than ideal turnovers. But this is something that is to be expected for such a giant player. So in my view, I mean, if your team drafts Anton Silayev, it's not a bad pick, but he is certainly a work in progress, and I would say a tough player to project to the NHL. The best part of his game, though, is the length and the skating ability that you have with him. Guys like him don't grow on trees. Being that tall, that gifted on their feet, there's just a lot of roads that he could follow, being more of a defensive leaning player like he already has been, maybe trying to extract a little more offense out of him where there has been moments of that this season. But most notably though, his inability to really consistently settle pucks and controlled breakouts and really get the puck moving offensively without making really safe D-to-D passes in his own end, that seems to be a problem that will need to be worked out regardless of the road he goes down. But I remain a fan of Anton Silayev this season. He's just a big work in progress, literally and metaphorically.